Westfield Memorial Hospital provides high-quality health care to residents of Western New York, offering patients the most sophisticated medical advancements while keeping the ease and familiarity of a community hospital. Support for Chautauqua Sunrise has been provided by WRFA 107.9 FM, Jamestown's public radio station, streaming online 24/7 at WRFALP.com. Low power to the people. Meter's Restaurant, a family tradition for over 50 years in downtown Ripley, is a proud supporter of Chautauqua Sunrise. Meter's provides all-day dining, banquet services, and custom catering, specializing in pie. Funding for Chautauqua Sunrise is provided in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency, with offices in Jamestown and Dunkirk, helping businesses to prosper throughout Chautauqua County. From supporting people with disabilities to enjoy great lives, to providing health care services that are available to anyone, the Resource Center has been improving our county for more than 60 years. Learn more about how the Resource Center makes a positive difference in people's lives.
Is getting vaccinated on your to-do list? We can help you check it off, because we make getting vaccinated easy. You've got this, because we've got you. To learn more, visit yougotthis.usaging.org.
From the Access Chautauqua Studios in Mayville, it's Chautauqua Sunrise. Chautauqua Sunrise is hosted by Doc Hamels and supported by the award-winning volunteers at Access Chautauqua. We are here to share local news, colorful interviews, and events of interest to everyone. Chautauqua Sunrise is broadcast live Saturday mornings each week from 9 to 10 a.m. Send events via email or call us live. Check us out on YouTube and Facebook. And now, from the Access Chautauqua Studios, it's Chautauqua Sunrise.
Hey everybody, good morning. I'm Doc Hamels and welcome to the Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm so glad you could join us. Good morning around the world, wherever you are streaming with us. Good morning, Ukraine. Good morning good afternoon to all my listeners on WRFA 107.9, low power to the people, right there. Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Thanks for joining us. We have a fun show in store for you. This is one of my favorite topics that I like to talk about, and we'll get to it here in a short bit. Let's see, a couple things. According to my wife, it's officially spring, and I thought, what is she talking about? Well, evidently she spotted skunks, and that she says that if you see skunks, it's spring. Well, I've been smelling them as we drive along the way, and our winter's kind of weird, isn't it? You know, we had all that cold weather, and now it's in the 40s and skunks. So maybe it is spring. I don't know. And Justin, you never argue with your wife. That's the rule. I know. Someday maybe you'll have this.
Nope.
No, all right.
Never.
I'm right about like 5% of the time. So I say, okay, it's spring. It's official. Throughout the show today, if you have a comment or question for myself or my guest, you can give us a call live, 716-753-5225. I don't care where you're in the world, give us a call. And because this is going to be one of those fun shows that you may very well want to know more about what we're talking about. All right. Throughout the week, if you have a question, a comment, if your club or organization's doing something, email me at chautauquasunrise@gmail.com. And people do that from time to time, and I get them forwarded to my home address, or we see them here at the studio, and we'll get right to you, okay? Free of charge, we're happy to do that. And if you ever have to pay for advertising, you would realize how much you are saving just by talking to us, and we'll be just one part of your public relations campaign, okay? On our way here today, I don't know how it was for any of you that have been out this morning, but foggy, very foggy, especially Mayville Hill. When I was coming up through, we actually had our four-way flashers going about 35 miles an hour. Why? Because you can't see the driver probably, I don't know, a couple hundred feet in front of you. So go slow, pay attention and be careful out there. You know, we worry about the snowstorms, but the fog is probably just as dangerous. So please be careful. Buffalo Bills, well, nice run. See you next year. There, happy Justin? Happy Randy? Happy everybody else out there that are non-believers? Good show. Anyways, as I said last week and the week before. Same story, different year. Okay, that's from Justin Burt. You may quote him. You know, it's entertainment, you know, and that's what it is. And I know we always want to see them go all the way to the Super Bowl and win it, but I guess it's just not our time. And so I don't know who you're all rooting for. I'll tell you who I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for Detroit. Who are you going to root for? Anybody in particular?
I don't care.
You don't care because your team's not in. It's a poo.
I don't care even if your team was in it.
That's the right spirit. It's just fun to watch and enjoy it with your friends.
No, I don't even watch it.
You don't even watch it anymore. Justin, you have a boring life.
Yes.
Okay, so anyways,
I got a big smile on my face.
and he lost no money in the process. Okay. All right, let's see what else. So today, my focus is going to be on things like legends and mystery and all kinds of folklore and stuff. And I want to share with you something I did last year. I don't even remember when it was exactly. But in my office, if you've ever been there, Justin, you've been to my house. My office looks like a museum, right? It's crazy. It's got all kinds of stuff in there and things hanging. And in one special place of honor, I have this poster that was signed by a number of folks that are famous regarding the Bigfoot story, legend, research, and everything else. And today, that's what we're going to be talking with. Local author, writer, explorer, I don't know, all the terms you want to use. Peter Weimer is in the wings waiting to come on. And this was a gift that I got last year. And like I said, it is a place of special distinction in my office amongst all my other relics and collections of cool things. So stay tuned. And again, you might say, I can't watch the whole show, darn it. We're going to be on at 2 and 8 every day for the rest of the week. We're streaming live at the moment. And the good news is, if you ever want to go back and look at any of the shows, and this is 496th show, we're on YouTube forever and ever, as long as YouTube is around, until they change the name or do something with it. So this show's will be on YouTube probably by Sunday, and you can share it and so forth. So a fun show in store, so please hang in there with us. All right, according to Jeff Zook, my astrological genius, he informed me today that as of today, we have 45 more minutes of daylight since the winter solstice. So things are looking up. Justin, you can play outside longer. You can take the dog longer. Oh, you don't have a dog and you don't play. Yeah, okay.
Not in the mud.
Not in the mud. Yeah, a lot of mud, huh? Snow's gone at our house, and we have about 5 inches of mud. Luckily, Brody isn't that heavy, so he doesn't get too bad. Anyways, I'm picking on Justin today for some reason. I don't know why. Okay, let's get to some announcements. Nothing's new, that's right. And a lot of times, folks, you can't hear the responses I get from my crew here.
Good,
Chippy. Okay, let's go to this. No, we're not going to give him a microphone. Just making suggestions as we go along here through my earpiece. Let's go to slide 15, banner project over in Ripley. Okay, this is last call, folks, because the deadline for this is February 2, and it's not long from now. The Ripley VFW has been kicking off its Hometown Heroes banner project, and you've seen some of these types of banners in various communities where they honor the veterans of their community as far back as anybody has a photo. Okay, those who are interested in honoring Ripley veterans with a 36 by 18 banner, please contact Dave Bauer at 736-5805. You could stop down at the town clerk's office. They've got applications there in Ripley. Over on State Street, the banners are $160 each, and it comes with the hardware, and they will be put up this spring by Memorial Day. And so since I'm the town historian, somehow I got involved with the project, and I'll be working on getting the pictures enlarged, and I keep their records on an Excel spreadsheet and so forth. I think we're up to about 24 veterans so far. So please, I know some of you are probably hanging out there in the wings saying, I'll get to it. February 2nd, all said and done. If you don't get them in by then, I think it'll be too late. All right. Coming up in Jamestown, February 3. All right. That would be, is that next Saturday? Let's see here. That would be, come on, calendar. Yep, next Saturday. It's the 20th year for Doors Open Jamestown, all right, with 19 participating local attractions to enjoy. These are all free. All right, we got, the long list here, so I'm going to give you my best shot. The Audubon Community Nature Center, Chautauqua County Chamber of Commerce, Chautauqua Sports Hall of Fame, the Elizabeth Warner Marvin Community House, Fenton History Center, Infinity Visual and Performing Arts, James Prendergast Library Association, the Lucille M. Wright Museum. That's cool, I've been there. The Lucille Ball Desi Arnaz Museum. These are all in Jamestown. Lucille Ball Theater, the Martz Cole Observatory, National Comedy Center, the Northwest Arena, Partridge Sheldon House, Pearl City Clay House, we talk about quite often, Reg Lene Center for the Arts, the Robert H. Jackson Center, if you haven't been there, it's gorgeous. Roger Torrey Peterson Institute, okay, that's really nice there. The Winifred Crawford, I'm going to make sure I'm on the right page here, Debert Boys and Girls Club of Jamestown, all right, and the thing I want to know for you is that in many cases, you probably want to do advanced registration. So real quick, that would include the Lucille Ball Desi Arnaz Museum, the National Comedy Center, Northwest Arena. I think those are the only ones you're going to need advanced registration, but it's free of charge. Okay, so you can register online or contact Carrie Swanson over at the Chamber of Commerce. And let's see, phone number for more information, 484-1101, extension 201. Okay, 484-1101, extension 201. What's nice about it is that they're opening all these doors to all these venues for local folks. You know, growing up, I lived near Niagara Falls, and you know, people would come from around the world to Niagara Falls, and I would talk to people and say, well, what'd you think of Niagara Falls? You know, my neighbors, whatever, and a lot of them had never been to Niagara Falls. It's like a 35-minute ride to Niagara Falls, and you've never been there. So a lot of times we have these venues right in our own backyard that you can go on February 3rd for free. So check it out. All right, let's go to the movies. Slide 16, The Iron Claw in Wonka. I've heard good things about Wonka. Iron Claw, I'm not sure about. It's a true story of the inseparable Von Erich brothers who made history in the intensely competitive world of professional wrestling in the early 1980s. Through tragedy and triumph, under the shadow of their domineering father and coach, there's a theme there for a lot of families, the brothers seek larger-than-life immortality on the biggest stage in sports. The film stars Zac Efron. The Iron Claw is rated R and 132 minutes long. I haven't heard that story before. Now, based on the extraordinary character at the center of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Roald Dahl's most iconic children's book and one of the best-selling children's books of all times, Wonka, is going to be shown February 3rd. Tells the wondrous story of how the world's greatest inventor, magician, and chocolate maker became the beloved Willy Wonka. As we know today, starring Timothy Chalamet in the title role, this irresistibly vivid and inventive big screen spectacle will introduce audiences to a young Willy Wonka chock full of ideas and determined to change the world one delectable bite at a time, proving that the best things in life begin with a dream, and if you're lucky enough to meet Willy Wonka, anything is possible. It's rated PG and it's 116 minutes long, so that's on February 3. And the Iron Claw is going to be shown this Wednesday, January 31. The Iron Claw at 7 and Willy Wonka, Wonka is going to be February 3 at 4 p.m. Tickets are $7 and $1 extra for theater restoration. For more information, give them a call at 716-484-7070. Okay? And let's see, moving along. Hey, not too long ago, I had Jeff Winton on here, and we talked about rural minds. Well, listen to this. Rural Mental Health National Nonprofit Rural Minds was selected as the 2023 Star Coalition Advocacy Organization of the Year and received the prestigious Star Award. Rural Mental Health National Nonprofit Rural Minds was selected and received this award. We thank this, and according to the Rural Minds, they thank the Star Coalition for this award in recognition of the collaborative work that they're doing through the Rural Minds to help people in rural communities overcome unique barriers to mental health, according to Rural Minds Executive Director Chuck Strand. All right, and to remind you, there is a mental health crisis in rural America with suicide rates that are 64 to 68% higher among people living in rural areas. So if you're interested, you can always go back and find that show just a couple weeks ago with Jeff Winton, and congratulations to Rural Minds. Jeff lives right here in Mayville, and this is a national honor that they've received, so congratulations to them. Last week, we had our friends from the Veterans Group and Dwyer Group, and I told them to make sure they send me things that are going on for veterans. So we have another slide, number 17. This is called Join the Kick Cabin Fever Indoor Triathlon. How's that for a name? Kick Cabin Fever Indoor Triathlon. It's going to be held, February 3rd, that scared me, something just fell, at 9 a.m. at Chautauqua Health and Fitness Center at 4840 Lake Road in Chautauqua, New York. And it can be a crucial part of promoting mental health awareness by volunteering. Your support is vital, creating a successful and impactful event. Individual teams of 2 or 3 or even a one-person event. It's $35 per person, $75 per team. And what's going to include? Swim, bike, run. 15 minutes per event. If you're interested, call Carrie Rayner at the Rayner's, her email address is raynerc@chautauquagov.com. Or you can give them a call at 716-753-4522. So why are we talking about this? Because I have a continued dedication to our veterans, and that this is an opportunity for veterans to get together, do something fun, get out, do something good for mental health, and get out of the house. All right, so again, February 3, and if you're interested, 753-4522. All right, let's continue on. Some more things are going on. Handcrafted from the Heart, January Cards for Kindness. And we have a local connection here from the studio. Jeff Zook's sister, Rita Hamels, is involved with this project. Thanks to a collaboration with Rita Hamels, they are offering a monthly event where they're partnering up with a national program called Cards for Kindness by Creative Kindness, where cards are made for people in cancer foundations, hospital shelters, retirement homes, children's homes, and other organizations in need. The cards are used by nurses, doctors, staff members, counselors, parents, and volunteers who add handwritten messages of encouragement and love of giving them to patients, children, and other people in need. This event is a free event with all materials provided. Donations are accepted, of course, to cover postage, which ranges from $13 to $15 per month to send the cards. Donations can be given to Rita Hamels. This event is open to adults and children. Simply pop in during the event time and have some fun creating kindness for others. And this is going to be held January 27th, today, all right, this Saturday, January 27th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And Jeff, this is going to be at Handcrafted from the Heart at 38 South Erie Street, right here in Mayville. So today, 11 to 3, Handcrafted from the Heart. That's the name of the place, 38 South Erie. This is called Cards for Kindness. Okay, here's another one that's coming up. This is at JCC, the college. Mystery at the Old Time Radio Show, January 27th. Okay, it's at the Charmin Theater over on Faulkner Street in Jamestown, the Alumni Association's 35th Annual Interactive Mystery Event. Mystery at the Old Time Radio Show. Desserts and beverages are served throughout the evening. Cost is $25. So you want to get out of the house, do something fun tonight, 7 o'clock, Charmin Theater. All right, now, you want to go skating? Family Public Skate at Northwest Arena today and tomorrow. Today is from 3:30 to 6, and tomorrow from 1:30 to 4 at the Northwest Arena. Their family public skating events are the perfect way to spend quality time with the whole family, or come with friends. Adults can rent a trainer bar for the children and grandchildren who are learning to skate and may even choose to hold on themselves. Always check the schedule, of course. NorthwestArena.com has a calendar. And then admission $7 only. Skate rental is $3. Skate trainer rental is $5, and you have to have a $10 deposit. Of course, you'll get your money back. So today and tomorrow, family public skate at the Northwest Arena from 3:30 today to 6 and 1:30 to 4 tomorrow. And we've got a couple more. All right, getting back to our veterans, they have a food drive for the unhoused. One of their members would like to start a food drive for the unhoused individuals in our county. There are people that are homeless. Okay, we've talked about this. They're requesting easy-to-eat food like protein bars, beef jerkies, tuna packets, etc., or easy-to-prepare meals that a local church is willing to cook and distribute. Their collection will take place over the next 2 weeks and can be dropped off at their Vietnam Vets and Friends Coffee Hour at Christ First Church. We talked about this last week. Okay, at the Christ First Church, 663 Lakeview Avenue from 10 to 11. Okay? And then finally, last slide, and then we're going to take a little breather. My Rotary Club is doing their annual Gold Rush. Tickets are $25 each, or if you get a group of 5 of you, $20 a piece, and there are all kinds of prizes. Top prize is $1,000, all kinds of gift certificates. And if you want more information, give Katie a call at 785-1384, and that's going to be drawn on February 10th at 7:30. It's going to be live online. All right, we're going to take a breather. We'll be right back. A cool show in store. Don't go anywhere.
Quick, how many people do you see? Only 2? Guess again. Use these tips to be seen. Wear light reflective clothing. Carry a bright light. Walk facing traffic. Use crosswalks. See and be seen.
I don't know how many times I'm driving down the road, somebody's riding their bike, no reflectors, dark clothes on the wrong side of the street. Or people walking, same thing, with no flashlights. I digress. I want to welcome back to the show Pete Weimer, who is Mr. Bigfoot for Chautauqua County. Pete, welcome back.
Thank you.
I have been waiting like months for this show. I watch every Bigfoot show there is.
Oh, cool.
Especially the one with what's her name? Mariah, you know which one I'm talking about. They go up into Canada and they're up in Oregon,
right.
And there's 3 of them or 4 of them, and so very cool. But you're doing something special now. You had your expos and you're moved on to a book. Is that true?
We are. I am. We're writing a book called I Have Seen Bigfoot. Up to date, I've had 45 eyewitnesses from Chautauqua County reach out to me, resolving themselves and knowing they've seen a Bigfoot, but were afraid to talk about it to anybody for fear of ridicule. And this has all happened since I created the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Expo as a tourism special event in 2012.
You've been doing this that long? 12 years?
We did it 9 years because of the pandemic. I didn't do it this past year because we can't find sponsors, and I end up doing out of pocket anywhere.
Yeah, it ebbs and flows, right?
Yeah. But it's branded Chautauqua County. It's branded, us as a Bigfoot area, just like every county and almost all of New York State has Bigfoots in them. Any place that has a couple of thousand acres of state lands or forest is prime habitat to a Bigfoot family. Could be mom and dad and 1 or 2 little kids. On my homepage of IHaveSeenBigfoot.com, there's a link of 7 pictures from Western New York. And that link, the 7th picture, shows an adult and about a 5-year-old. They're mammals, they have babies, they have it figured out as where to hide.
All right, hang on a second, we got a phone call already.
Okay.
I got Mike from Portland, I think. Mike, good morning.
Hey, Doc. I actually called in to say happy birthday.
Who told you?
Actually, Facebook.
You can't hide, can you? Well, thank you. You just had your birthday. Now it's my turn. It happens every year about this day.
Yeah, our birthdays are exactly 7 days apart.
That's right. Well,
Mine was last Saturday. Yours was this Saturday.
well,
So,
thanks.
and I knew our birthdays were close.
That's right. There's a number of us in January. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, are you watching?
Yeah.
I got Pete Weimer here talking about Bigfoot.
I heard some of it.
All right.
I guess it's interesting. I don't know quite. He was talking about. I heard him talking about I guess you say mature big feet and baby big feet, but so.
Okay. Well, stay tuned. We're gonna keep digging away. So,
All right.
Mike, thanks for calling.
You're welcome.
All right.
We'll see you.
All right. Thank
Bye
you.
now.
Pete, you said that that Western New York has had quite a few sightings. You got 45 documented ones. What is the environment that? What's the plural? Big feet? Bigfoots? How do you refer to them?
As far as plural goes, I always call them just Bigfoot.
Okay. So like deer. There's not deers, it's deer.
That's
Bigfoot
right.
is like plural or singular. So where do Bigfoot live?
I think they hide in the swamps during the day and forage in the woods at night. Obviously, there's a family down in the Chautauqua Gorge, so maybe they have found one of the caves that they reported having down there. I've flown my drone quite a few times in the gorge trying to see them, trying to catch them. It'll be just by chance. Now I have an e-bike made by ecells.com, and it's a dual motor, 1500 watt, so each battery is 750. Each motor is 750 watts. It's supposed to have a 60-mile pedal assist range, or 30 miles without it. And I go on the rails to trails looking for Bigfoot because they go right through, obviously, very thick wooded areas. That's like a super highway. The old train tracks that have been ripped out and the bed has been left behind. And obviously, Chautauqua Rails to Trails has, taken care of a lot of the trails and creating them. And this e-bike is a great tool.
It's quiet.
It's quiet. They even have a coupon called PW100 for $100 off that you can use. Capital P, capital W100 at ecells.com. And I mean, it's a great tool. It gets me out. I cover 10, 12 miles in 2 hours. I wouldn't be able to walk 12 miles in 2 hours. I mean,
Okay. So ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, and a variety of other things. There are the naysayers and there's the believers. So are you trying to prove anything to the naysayers, or just this is it and if you take it or leave it? What's your position on all this?
you know, it ended up biting me in the ass by believing it, by having these eyewitnesses come up and see me or talk to me and resolve themselves. I've had old people, I've had little kids, I've had people that have no reason to lie.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just tell their story, I tell the truth, I don't try to snowball anybody. If they would want to believe it, they should, because it's real. And the government just will never acknowledge the existence of Bigfoot, just like they don't acknowledge the existence of mountain lions in Chautauqua County, because if they did, then the endangered species law kicks in, which would shut down the woods to timber and hunting, quadrupling the cost of building a home because we'd have to import all our lumber from Canada, putting millions of people out of work. It's all about the economy and has nothing to do about the reality of Bigfoot, or everybody knows that has a trail cam in Chautauqua County that mountain lions are here, but they won't acknowledge it.
Right. So, you know, you watch enough of these shows that are reality shows, and you're watching in front of your eyes, they're finding certain animals that they thought were extinct or weren't around, and there they are. So, Bigfoot, what's its range here in North America?
His range would be all the way from upper Canada They have sightings in Florida, so just about every state, including Hawaii,
Really?
has had sightings of Bigfoot now.
And some of this is like oral tradition from generation for hundreds of years, I believe, right?
Correct. And I mean, we're writing this book, myself and Brad Lockwood, who is from Little Valley originally, and now he lives in the Catskills. Brad has written 11 books or more. One of them was on Case Knives, the Case Knife Factory out of Little Valley. And he sold hundreds of thousands of that book. And we're putting together all the eyewitnesses that want to come forward. If there's anybody watching today's show that has seen a Bigfoot in Western New York or Pennsylvania or anywhere, by all means reach out to me. At my website, there's a email link for people that have seen Bigfoot, and we'd like to put your story in the book.
How do you vet these people? For instance, there are people out there, and I'm not saying anybody's watching right this minute, but there are people out there, they're trolls. They're saying, I'll fix Weimer. I'll come up with some cockamamie story. And, oh, it's true, it's true, it's true. And they set you up. How do you know that it's true? I always find that difficult.
And I do find that difficult, but most of the people that have written me or reached out to me are so genuine in what they've seen. One gentleman drove over on 4th of July a couple of years ago and pulled into my driveway, and I had just pulled in from going to the grocery store, and I said, can I help you? Thinking he was looking for a cottage or a boat rental. And he goes, I've seen Bigfoot. And so I invite him into my office, I take notes, and he, just like the reverend that wrote me about seeing a Bigfoot down in the Chautauqua Gorge, they had no reason to lie. They were just getting it off their chest. The reverend said he saw on a YouTube video that you should reach out to the Bigfoot researchers in the area. And so that's why he reached out to me.
Right.
And it is a powerful eyewitness event.
Okay, so for those that maybe are not exactly Bigfoot believers, and maybe one day they'll have an experience, what are they going to see? What are they looking for? I mean, because we have bears around here, and that's always the big deal is, oh no, it's just a bear standing up. Right. Obviously, there's a big difference, and you've got, and maybe as we're talking here, they can pan the different posters and things like that, but what does a Bigfoot look like?
Well, it's anywhere from a youth to an adult that could be 8 to 10 to 12 feet tall. Obviously, they're going to look like a human ape kind of person. I truly believe they're obviously very intelligent beings, that they acknowledge and recognize humans as being possibly a threat. And they're pretty smart because they know where to hide. Or it's always the fact when people see a Bigfoot, they say, what did I just see? Or what am I seeing that they just can't believe it. And by the time they realize, it's gone.
Okay, so when you say Chautauqua Gorge, not that I want people running and traipsing there, because it's deep and it can be dangerous.
Oh, right.
Is that the Hog's Back? Is that what we're talking about? Not in that area in Westfield, or where are we talking here? Or Camel's Back?
I go up down Maidham Road, or Hannum Road, Hannum Road, where the snowmobile club is located. All the way to the end is a New York State Park area for the Chautauqua Gorge. And they have a dozen or so campsites that you can go camping there. They have a couple of trails. One goes along the upper part of the ridge, and you can keep looking down into the gorge. And the other one, excuse me, goes straight down to the gorge. You got to be careful and hike down there.
Okay. I know this is going to seem like maybe a silly question, and I'm not, and I'm saying this in all seriousness. If someone were to come across a Bigfoot, what do they do? What should they do? What's the etiquette? Do they take pictures? Do they try to approach it? Do they run away? I mean, what's the history that people have experienced, in the area here?
Ideally, you should, if you're going hiking in the woods, carry a couple of apples, or an apple and an orange, something that you can throw like a baseball, and then you throw them food. And that's what I always do when I take my e-bike out on the rails of trails. I have half a dozen apples with me. God forbid I get lucky enough to see a Bigfoot, I'm going to throw them an apple right away so that hopefully they see or they feel that I'm trying to friend them. The Reverend that wrote about his eyewitness account out at the Chautauqua Gorge was up late one night at his campfire and looks across the creek, and there he sees a Bigfoot. And they watched each other for some time, and after a while, I went back to my campfire not wanting to be bothered or bothering him. I saw him again for the next few days. That means he saw the Bigfoot for 4 days in a row.
And where was this located? In the area here?
Right there at the end of Hannum Road.
Whoa.
In July.
Okay.
And he when he first sent me the email, he had his name and address, and now that we've reached out to him and asked him if it's okay we use his name, he wants to remain anonymous, which we're fine with. I know who it is, and I know he's a reverend. And I don't believe a reverend would lie about a Bigfoot experience at the Chautauqua Gorge.
So multiple days, and how close do they come to you? Any idea? I mean,
He must have been, because I was at that campsite 100, 200 feet away.
Okay, so people are always saying, where's the proof in the pudding? So lots of footprints, and in fact, in the past, you've brought castings of footprints of a Bigfoot. Are they making castings of it?
That Western New York isn't too adaptive to leaving footprints unless we get lucky and we find them in the creek, because they got to drink a lot of water. So whenever I go to the gorge, I'm looking for sandy areas in the creek which might have left a footprint, because I see other footprints, whether it's from deer or cats or other animals that are down there. But I think if you always go out on the woods, make sure you bring a couple of apples with you. Don't be surprised. Throw them food. Maybe you'll get lucky.
How about Lake Erie? Do they go along the coast?
They sure do. I went over to, I think, 6 Mile Creek, just on the other side of the Ripley, New York border in PA.
Okay.
And they come down into that little creek gorge to get to the vineyards and the apple and the peach orchard, which was right there at that 6 Mile Creek. And so they got it figured out. In the fall, they come down for grapes and apples and peaches, and they come down to Westfield. One of the sightings was just up from, or just below, Route 20 in Westfield.
Really? How long ago was that?
A few years ago.
Okay.
A lady was dropping her son off to a babysitter, and right there where the railroad tracks, in Westfield, they got a couple of picnic tables down there where the village or the town is set up like a little park area where people can sit and watch the trains go over those bridges. And she was coming around the corner there, and a Bigfoot ran up the trail from the gorge and smashed into her driver's door as she was driving by. She had to get out when she got to the babysitters on the passenger side, and it had caused $2,000 worth of damage to her car. She saw it out of the corner of her eye, said she thought it was an impala. And an impala is I'm not exactly sure, but that was the wording she used. And I got it from a second person who was getting her hair cut at the same shop. And she emailed me that lady's experience. And of course, they don't want to talk to me.
Right.
They're afraid. But the Bigfoot has come down that far, down towards those railroad tracks, maybe going down a little farther to get any salmon that might come.
Absolutely, they're running.
They're running. And I think the Bigfoot's got to figure it out.
So, year round? They live here year round?
I think so. I don't think they migrate. Some people down south might think they follow the Appalachian Trail or some mountain range. Maybe they do, but I think, for a Bigfoot to be sighted over by Panama and then a little while later over by Cherry Creek, they're not moving that far. They got a family. They want to bring food home. They're not going to be.
So we're talking about they're eating local produce. Makes sense. Salmon, which makes sense.
Deer or smaller.
They eat deer.
Yep. You'll see these stick, if you Google Bigfoot stick frames or Google Bigfoot stick structures.
Oh, that's when they make those like crosses or X's or little
They're little
huts type
They're
thing?
little huts. And my theory is that they use those huts, maybe they put food in there and the deer gets in there
Uh-huh.
and then they can club them.
Almost like making a trap.
A trap,
Yeah.
except they give them just a little opportunity where they surprise them. And I think that's the bottom line of those Bigfoot stick structures.
Okay, I'm going to go way off on the line now. All right,
Okay.
prepare yourself. And this, I'm not saying you're saying this. I'm saying this is what I see on reality shows about Bigfoot. And there's some that are more entertainment, and there's some that I think are serious. Scientists, they're putting their names out there, but they're assigning abilities to Bigfoot that are supernatural.
I don't buy into that
Okay.
thread. They say, oh, they spotted a UFO last night, and at the same time they saw a Bigfoot.
There you go. I didn't want to lead you, but that's what I'm hearing.
And I don't believe that. I mean, maybe it's just coincidence sometimes that it happens, but for the most part, obviously, the Bigfoot's not dimensional. The Bigfoot is real. So it's not appearing
Yeah.
like some of them would
Coming
like
and going and invisible and stuff like that.
Right.
What do you say to the people that say, well, show me a body and then I'll believe it?
The rumor has it they had a roadkill in Pennsylvania a few years ago, and when the DNR came and they took the body away, the eyewitnesses said, well, what about the Bigfoot? And they said, what Bigfoot?
Okay.
And they say that they helicoptered out of Mount St. Helens when that volcano erupted a decade or two ago, that there were less than a dozen, but more than a few Bigfoots that were killed and taken out by helicopter so that they wouldn't be seen by eyewitnesses. So the government will still continue because it has to do with the endangered species law. And
Correct me if I'm wrong. Did New York State pass a protection act?
no, they did not.
There was talk about it?
There is maybe a protection act in Whitehall, New York.
Okay.
The town of Whitehall or the village or city passed a protection act to protect Bigfoot. And good for them.
But it's not New York statewide.
It's not New York statewide.
But was there some talk about that?
I tried to get New York State. I wrote them a letter asking them, and the letter's on the homepage of IHaveSeenBigfoot.com, or the letter that I received from the state of New York, that in so many words they say that Bigfoot doesn't exist and that it's
Yeah, silly thing.
a hoax.
Yeah.
And of course, you can't tell these eyewitnesses that have really seen a Bigfoot. Just like if an eyewitness really saw a UFO, you can't tell them that what they saw wasn't real.
Yeah,
They know what they saw.
You know, even if you were to bring hair samples or whatever, they'll say, well, you just made that up. I mean, there's always the skeptic no matter what. So, it's hard to know. What do you got to do to prove it? So, you know, someone told me once that if I put out a jar of peanut butter and I left it out in the woods, that maybe something would happen. So what I did was I got a jar of peanut butter, I sealed it, put a string on it, hung it up from the tree, put my trail camera out there hoping that maybe I'd see a Bigfoot. And wouldn't you know it, that peanut butter jar was on the ground and the peanut butter was gone. Looked at my camera, it was a squirrel. He came all the way down the string, chewed off the string, and then attacked the plastic bottle. And I was so hopeful I was going to get a Bigfoot. So I'm not giving up, because where I live in Ripley, there's a swamp behind me, and there's woods and woods and woods and woods and woods, forever and ever. So, and I'll be honest with you, whenever I'm out in the woods, I have a look, because everything you told me should be like perfect for that type of migration, not migration, but hunting area. You know, like bears, I forgot how many miles they'll go in an area. So I'm having fun with this. I'm staying open-minded. I'm certainly interested. And, you know, you have a descriptor here. Just maybe we can hit this one about Bigfoot if you kind of go back to it, because it talks about a number of things here. So we talked about it being how tall it is, but let's kind of go through. Boy, we get that glare from the light there. Maybe we can fix that. But anyways, so why don't you go through it one more time as far as more details, and maybe Justin can lean that forward a little bit so we don't get that light. That's part of the problem when you got 43 different lights here. There, he's going to change it for us. All right, there we go. It just holds still there, and if you go through the numbers for us, Pete.
Yeah, I mean, a Bigfoot is obviously, I mean, they can get as tall as 10 or 12 feet tall. I think the majority of the sightings are in that 6 to 8 foot range.
Look at the weight, though. Holy cow.
Oh, no kidding. I mean, they estimate them to be 500 to 1,500 pounds. Obviously, they're either black or brown in color. Once in a while, you might get a gray-haired one because they're older. And I have not gotten a footprint cast from Chautauqua County, but that's my goal, which would be my bucket list of proof, because people aren't running around the woods barefoot, let alone anywhere from 12 inches to 16, 17 inches in size.
My understanding is 3 toes and a big toe, or something along those lines? Or
there's five toes.
5 toes altogether, with
Yeah.
one kind of protruding, or it just depends?
I think it just depends.
Okay, because you show me cast.
Right. And that one cast from Patterson Gimlin had a toe that went off, probably was dislocated at one time or broken, and then they have to just go on and live with it.
Okay, so tall, very heavy,
Right.
variety of colors of hair. Do they have any idea how long they live? I mean, I know that's hard to tell, but I mean, is there a feeling in the community of how long they live?
Like a human, 50, 60, 70 years probably.
Okay, all right. So then, let's see what else we got. We said the 15 to 17-inch foot. Whoa, they're even bigger than Bob Lanier.
Yeah, there we go.
Shoulders, 3 to 5 feet across.
Right.
Holy cow. What else?
I had one of the eyewitnesses from over by Bemis Point saw a Bigfoot run right in front of their sliding glass door. They could see down to the lake. The ice was shimmering. They had their sliding glass door open because they had just gotten into their hot tub, and a Bigfoot ran from the left to the right in front of them, 10 feet in front of the sliding glass door. And she said she had a photographic memory. And the upper part of the body was like a Popeye, all muscular, muscles. And she said she had a photographic memory.
Wow.
And she wishes to remain anonymous. And of course, I'm going to respect that. But pretty amazing stuff.
So the people in your book, their stories, are many of them anonymous, or some of them identified themselves, or how's that going?
Some identified themselves. Many of them are anonymous. The people that they don't care if their identity's revealed, and they're fine with it.
Okay.
and that's wonderful. I mean,
You know, in the world of social media, people are brutal.
right.
So I can see why people, well, not even just social media. I mean, over the centuries, people have beat up people for silly stories or make up stories, or even if they're true stories, they still don't believe you.
Right.
I mean, what's the history of Bigfoot here in Western New York? I mean, how far back does this go? Is it Indian lore, or I don't even.
Indian lore
I don't know
goes
the
back
answer to
quite
this.
a ways. Brad has talked to some of the Seneca Nation of Indians. I'm a friend to several of them that have come to the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Expo, and there is Indian lore that goes back farther than obviously the Bigfoot Expo in decades, if not hundreds of years.
Okay.
We're going to be conducting a seminar over at the Corey Higher Educational Council on Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. I'm going to have my e-bike there on display. We're going to be talking about sightings. Hopefully we'll have some people coming in from Corey and
Okay.
Sugar Grove. They'll be, but this will be in Corey. Monday night, January 29th from 6 to 8 p.m.
Okay, and that's this particular poster here you're referring to. This
Yep.
is going to be in Corey.
Yep.
Okay, and it's $20 a person, 6
They-
to 8. Okay, and people will. I know there's always a funny question. I ask this question because I want people to know, where's the money go?
Where's the what?
Where's the $20 go? What's it for?
It goes to them. They're paying me a fee, which
Okay.
may or may not be covered by that $20, but they put it on. They promote it. Corey had every Friday, the first Friday of a month, they must have a street fair, street market, and Labor Day weekend they had a Bigfoot Friday.
Okay.
And they said the place got jammed. They asked me to come and speak as a speaker, but I couldn't do it because obviously it's Labor Day weekend.
Uh-huh. Okay, so that's coming up January 29th. That's Monday
That is this Monday.
in Corey. All right.
Right.
All right. So we got to watch your microphone. Oh, there went your microphone. Okay. Well, folks, while we're doing a little readjusting here of the set, this happens from time to time. Your mic is under you. There you go. Okay. If you're watching right now, you're watching Chautauqua Sunrise. I'm Doc Hamels, and my guest is Pete Weimer, and we're talking about I've Seen Bigfoot and a book that's coming out to the same name, and we're going to redo things. And Jeff, how about we just start bringing up some of those slides while we're reconnoitering here, and Pete can reference those as we go along. So let's bring up those slides if you would, please. All right. So, one of my favorites. That's my poster.
There you go. So last year or back in 2022, we had the Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot Expo, and we videotaped it, edited it. There's 6.5 hours of presentations on Vimeo or on our website that you can buy as a video on demand for $2.
Okay. And I think one of the key things here is Jeff Meldrum, who is an internationally famous Bigfoot researcher and scientist who puts his reputation on the line.
Right.
He's there. I got his autograph right here.
I know
So
it.
cool. Okay, what's the next one? Okay, what's this?
Okay, so that's the seminar this coming Monday. That'll be at the Corey Higher Educational Council building right on Main Street in downtown Corey.
All right. Okay, let's just keep rolling. I want to make sure we get all these in here for you.
Thank you.
Okay, and we've talked a little bit. Oh, is that the same
Another
one?
version of the poster, right?
All right. Oh, what's this one?
That's our video on demand poster for $2 of last year's expo.
Okay, so I mentioned Jeff Meldrum. Is there any other famous person that's considered a big deal in the business?
Well, Seth Breedlove he has Small Town Monsters. It's a movie production
Pete?
company.
Your mic fell off again. we're having all kinds of issues here with microphones. Maybe just hold on to it.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
I do the same thing. Okay, so there are a variety of famous people that are international.
That's Larry Batson.
Okay.
Larry passed away this past year, unfortunately.
Sure.
And he was at my first 2 Chautauqua Lake Bigfoot expos. He was instrumental in coming, and his interview is as well on that on-demand version.
All right, super. And let's see, that was it. Okay, so you have a book coming out, and do you have a published date or release date in mind?
We don't. Hopefully it'll happen before or right during the summertime.
Okay.
We were trying to elongate the process just to give more eyewitnesses an opportunity to reach out to us and tell us their stories so that they can be included in the book.
So it's not too late if somebody has a story to share
If
with you.
somebody wants to share the story, go to IHaveSeenBigfoot.com, click on I've Seen Bigfoot, and write me an email or phone number, and then I will call you.
Okay. We have one more poster that's behind you, the man who filmed Bigfoot. And maybe we want to hit that, Justin, and you could talk a little bit about this. Kind of set the whole modern Bigfoot story, right?
It did. The original Patterson-Gimlin Bigfoot film of 1967. They went miles and miles in the back country, and they came across a Bigfoot that they caught on camera, and it's been the most, discussed video out there of a Bigfoot.
And they've torn it apart, they've debated it, they called it fake, they called it real, they call it, I mean, they're all over the place.
There's lots of pictures and videos of Bigfoot on the internet. They're real. For the most part, they're real. I mean, somebody hoaxed it on a train ride outside of in Colorado a few months ago, and these people on the train caught a Bigfoot walking in the brown brush, and then it sat down, and it was refuted by a couple of great Bigfoot researchers. The costume was the same one that Jack Lynx can sell now, and they searched in the area and they found a Bigfoot aficionado that has that costume. They had drones following the train, trying to see what the people's reaction was going to be. So it was a hoax.
Oh boy. And they're out there. Pete, we got about a minute and a half left here to the show. How about one more time, if somebody has truly had an experience and they want to share it with you, whether anonymous or not, how do they get a hold of you?
My cell, 716-969-1811, or my email, wewanchu@wewanchu.com. That's my cottage resort. We Want You Cottages. That's basically the only email I use, and they can reach me at either one.
Last question. Bigfoot, human or animal?
It's a mammal, so it's a mammal, an animal.
All right, so somewhere in between.
Humans are mammals. Humans are animals in my book. So are Bigfoot.
Okay, so in the bigger category, mammal.
Yes, sir.
Warm-blooded, it has children and so forth.
Right.
Males and females been sighted here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and you said little ones, so that's interesting.
Yeah, and low ones. Yeah.
All right. Pete Weimer, thanks again for coming by.
Thank you so
I
much.
always enjoyed this topic, and I am still on the lookout, so I'm hoping someday I'll have my own experience and I'll be in your book.
That's right.
Folks, I hope you enjoyed today's show. It creates an opportunity for us to expand the possibilities in life and have some fun and have a look out here in Chautauqua County, Chautauqua Gorge, Ripley, all along the lakeshore of Erie and so forth, and Canada and Nova Scotia and all over the place. So, Pete, I wish you the best with your book, and I'm going to get a copy of it.
You know it, man.
All right. So, folks, have a great weekend. We're going to do this all again in February. I can't believe it's the end of January. So, take care. And, again, this will be on YouTube and throughout the week on channel 1301 on Spectrum. Have a great weekend, and watch out for the fog. Bye now. Okay, good. Here we go.